This is how Airbus builds an A350. The wings are assembled in the United Kingdom. Sections of the fuselage are built at several facilities across Europe. Then all of those major parts are flown to Toulouse for final assembly. That is where work that began in different countries finally comes together as one airplane. The journey of an A350 starts long before the factory receives its first physical component. Engineers first build the entire plane as a full-size digital model. Every part has to fit inside the same design, including the space technicians will need later to assemble and maintain the aircraft. A small change on a computer screen can create a much bigger problem on the factory floor. Moving one duct by only a few inches could take away space needed for a cable next to it. It could also make a connector difficult to reach during maintenance. That is why manufacturing teams review the design while changes are still easy to make. Computers help engineers study airflow and the loads the airframe will face. Those results are then compared with physical testing. Wing models go into wind tunnels, while separate structural sections are tested to see how the materials and joints respond under load. The digital model is also used to view the aircraft from the perspective of the people who will build and maintain it. Engineers check whether tools can still fit into tight spaces. They also look at whether one component can be removed without taking apart too many pieces around it. Manufacturing teams then turn that design into real work inside the factory. They decide where each component will be installed and prepare the tools and support frames that will hold it in place. The production floor still uses data from the same digital model, so the real structure follows the design created by the engineers. Full production can only begin after transportation routes and working areas at every facility are ready. Large aircraft sections cannot simply be placed wherever there's open space. Their arrival times have to match the capacity of the next factory in the chain. Airbus began preparing this network while the A350 was still being developed. Around 53% of the A350 airframe is made from composite materials. Carbon fiber helps reduce weight, and it does not corrode in the same way aluminum does. Layers of fiber are placed in directions chosen to handle the loads each part is expected to carry. Some of the material is placed over a mold by machines. It is then heated and placed under pressure until the resin hardens. This turns the flexible layers into a rigid panel. Because damage is not always visible from the outside, the panel has to be inspected below the surface before it can be used. The accuracy of the mold helps determine the final shape of every panel. Even a small change in the mold's surface could be repeated across every part made with it. Because of that, production tools are inspected throughout the life of the program. After the panel hardens, its edges are trimmed and its connection points are created using data from the digital model. Once the design is ready for production, the A350 begins taking shape in several places at the same time. Airbus installs as many systems as possible while each structure is still open and easy to reach. The next team continues that work after the section arrives in Toulouse. The A350's wings are assembled in Broughton, Wales. The outer panels are joined to the internal structure until they form the wing box. This is the main structure that carries flight loads and also provides space for fuel. Large support frames hold the wing in the correct working position. Machines handle areas that require extremely precise and repeated work, while technicians take care of sections that are difficult for machines to reach. When one side is complete, the structure can be moved slowly so the next side becomes accessible. While the wing box is still open, technicians install lines and systems that will later be hidden behind the panels. After the wing is finished, those areas can only be reached through much smaller maintenance openings. Before leaving Broughton, the complete wing set is inspected and prepared to meet the fuselage being built somewhere else. The wing-to-body connection points have to be in the correct position, and the fuel tank areas have to remain sealed. The A350 fuselage is built in several large sections. Each section already contains part of its system routing when it leaves its original factory. Installing those systems while the fuselage is still open gives technicians much more room than they would have after everything is connected. The ends of each section are prepared to join the next part. Connectors are protected during transportation, and production records travel with the component. The team in Toulouse needs to know what work has already been completed and which changes were approved earlier. The identity of every part remains traceable as the aircraft moves between facilities. This information helps Airbus connect inspection results to the correct component, so any repair decision stays linked to that part's manufacturing history. Before a section leaves its original facility, it is measured and inspected. If something is slightly outside the expected shape, engineers study the effect and decide which repair is allowed. That decision is recorded so the true condition of the part is not lost when another team receives it. Airbus also receives many systems and components from outside suppliers. Their delivery times have to match the needs of the production line. One late but important component can hold back an aircraft that is already close to completion. The major sections of an A350 are too large for a normal cargo plane. Airbus uses the BelugaXL, a transporter developed from the A330-200 with a huge cargo compartment built above the cockpit. The BelugaXL cockpit sits lower so the cargo door can open at the front of the plane. The cargo space is large enough to carry the biggest A350 fuselage section, or 2 wings measuring about 98 feet long during a single flight. 6 BelugaXL aircraft connect Airbus production facilities across Europe. Each component is placed on a specially designed support frame before the flight. Its condition is checked again after it arrives in Toulouse. Wings and fuselage sections can only receive force at points designed to handle it. The flight schedule is also tied directly to the needs of the final assembly line. At the final assembly line, a fuselage section is lifted slowly toward its connection point. Large jigs hold the structure in place while the crew measures distance and alignment. The movement stops several times until the section is sitting exactly where it needs to be. Parts built at different facilities have to fit together when they meet for the first time. The crew does not rely only on how the outside shape looks. Measurements are compared with the design data before fasteners are installed. That allows corrections to be made while the sections are still free to move. The front, center, and rear fuselage sections are then joined into one complete body. The nose landing gear is installed during an early stage. After that, the airframe moves toward the area where the wings and tail sections are attached. Joining the fuselage does not stop with the outside skin. System lines that end in one section have to continue into the next. Technicians remove the protective covers from connectors, join the systems, and confirm that everything matches the configuration of the aircraft being built. Installing the wings brings the wing box together with the center wing box inside the fuselage. This connection transfers loads from the wings into the body of the aircraft. The position of both wings is checked against the fuselage before the final fasteners are installed. The A350 now begins to look like a complete airplane, but technicians still have to connect systems from different sections until the entire aircraft can work as one network. Several jobs happen at the same time. Cabin teams can enter areas that are ready while technicians in other sections are still finishing system work. Panels are only closed when no other team needs access to anything behind them. The airframe moves forward as the work progresses. This allows several aircraft to move through the production line at the same time without waiting for one plane to be completely finished first. The rhythm of the line depends on each area finishing its work on schedule. If one aircraft stays in the same position for too long, it also reduces space for the aircraft behind it. Airbus has to solve the problem without skipping any required inspections. The airline chose its cabin configuration long before the plane reached Toulouse. 2 A350s of the same model can still have different seat layouts, galleys, and service areas. Those choices affect the final weight of the aircraft and the location of equipment hidden behind the walls. Digital models and full-size mock-ups help customers review the layout before the actual components are produced. After the first cabin is installed, the physical result is checked against the approved order. A late cabin change can affect parts that have already been built. Moving one service module may change mounting points or system routes behind the wall. That is why many customer decisions are locked in long before the first seat enters the aircraft. Technicians first finish connections that will later be hidden. Panels, storage bins, and seats only go in after the work behind them has passed inspection. Once the cabin begins filling up, there is less room to carry large tools tools and components through the plane. The engines arrive from Rolls-Royce as separate units. The A350-900 uses the Trent XWB-84, while the A350-1000 uses the more powerful XWB-97. The engines are installed on pylons under the wings when the aircraft reaches the correct stage of production. The pylon connects the engine to the wing structure and carries the lines the engine needs to operate. Every connection is inspected before the engine is started on the ground. After installation, technicians connect the engines to the aircraft systems and check the lines linking them to the cockpit. An engine run only begins when those connections are ready. Electrical power is then sent through the entire aircraft for the first time. Systems built at different facilities begin communicating through one network, and the cockpit screens start displaying the status of the A350 as one complete machine. Technicians send commands from the cockpit and watch to see whether the correct systems respond. If one sensor gives an unusual reading, its connection is followed until the source of the problem is found. After the repair, the test is run again. The software also has to match the hardware actually installed on that aircraft. Two A350s of the same model may not have the exact same customer options, so the aircraft's computer configuration has to match the physical plane. The first power-on can reveal problems that did not appear when the components were tested separately. Those results help technicians narrow down the area that needs inspection without tearing apart unrelated sections. Before its first flight, a passenger A350 goes through around 200 individual ground test procedures. Technicians check the aircraft's functions one by one and store the results as part of that plane's permanent record. Some tests happen while the aircraft is still inside the hangar. A command sent from the cockpit may move a part on the outside of the airframe or create a reading from a sensor located dozens of feet away from the pilot. Every result is compared with the response expected from that specific configuration. The cabin is also pressurized to check the fuselage seals and the pressurization system. If pressure drops faster than the allowed limit, technicians inspect the joints and seals before repeating the test. This can only happen after the doors and main fuselage sections are working together as one complete body. Pressure inside the cabin places a load across the entire fuselage surface. The result shows whether the production joints and the pressure control system are working as planned. The aircraft is then weighed so its final mass and center of gravity match the equipment actually installed. The airline will use those numbers when calculating passengers, cargo, and fuel on every flight. The engines are started on the ground as part of the final checks. Technicians watch the cockpit readings and make sure all supporting systems remain stable. Any problem found here can still be handled before the plane is taken into the air. The aircraft then moves under its own power around the airport. The crew watches how the systems respond when the airframe begins moving as one complete vehicle. Inside the paint shop, windows and sensors are covered before the airline livery is applied. The surface is prepared, the color pattern is created with masking, and the final result is inspected before the aircraft returns to the completion process. Paint gives the aircraft its airline identity and also protects the outside surface. Its thickness is carefully controlled because every layer adds weight. After it dries, the finish is inspected before the airframe continues to final testing. During the first flight, the crew checks whether the newly completed A350 performs according to specification. They take the aircraft into conditions that cannot be fully created on the ground and record how its systems respond during flight. After landing, the data is reviewed. Any problem is corrected before the plane moves to the delivery center. If necessary, the aircraft flies again to confirm that the repair worked. This production test flight focuses on the individual aircraft that has just been completed. The crew makes sure that specific plane responds correctly before it is handed over to the customer. The A350 design itself went through years of testing before full production began. A full-size structure was placed inside a test rig, and the wings were bent to simulate loads greater than those experienced during normal flight. As the wings flexed, engineers checked whether the moving surfaces still worked correctly. The fuselage also went through pressure and fatigue testing to simulate the cycles it would face throughout its service life. The A350 fatigue program represented around 3 times the aircraft's intended design life. This testing helped reveal changes that might not appear until an airframe had been used for many years. One test aircraft entered a climate facility in Florida. The temperature inside could be changed from around -40 to 104 degrees Fahrenheit. The team checked whether the aircraft system still worked after being exposed to those conditions. 5 A350-900 test aircraft then completed more than 2,600 flight hours during the certification campaign. Their cabins were filled with measurement equipment that recorded how the structure and systems responded. The test aircraft also visited airports with different temperatures and elevations. Those trips showed how the A350 assembly and its ground equipment performed outside Airbus's main operating environment. All of the test data was submitted to regulators. The European Union Aviation Safety Agency issued the A350-900 type certificate on September 30th, 2014. Once the design was approved, every customer aircraft still had to pass its own production inspections. After completing its production flight, the A350 enters the delivery center. The airline's team inspects the aircraft on the ground and then takes part in an acceptance flight. They check whether the plane matches the configuration they ordered and whether it performs as expected. During that flight, the customer crew uses the same systems they will operate every day. After landing, notes from the flight are reviewed with the Airbus team. The aircraft is inspected again if anything needs to be corrected. The customer inspection covers the physical condition of the plane and the equipment the airline will use during normal operations. If a problem is found, Airbus repairs it and shows the result to the customer before technical acceptance is signed. A standard delivery process usually takes around 4 or 5 days. Once technical acceptance is signed, ownership transfers to the airline, leasing company, or operator. The customer also receives documents showing the equipment actually installed on the plane, giving its maintenance teams accurate information from the first day. The operator begins preparing long before the handover. Pilots and technicians study the configuration they are about to receive, while the company adds the new aircraft to its operating system. Airbus also helps the operator prepare the technical requirements needed to place the plane into service on schedule. When the handover is complete, the A350 can leave Toulouse on a delivery flight to the location chosen by the customer. The airline then completes its final preparations before the aircraft enters the commercial schedule for its first passenger flight. Parts that were being built separately across Europe only a few months earlier are now flying together as one airplane.